the leading edge with Abie. Living on the leading edge with Abie. Living on the leading edge with Abie.
So welcome, bro. It's always, I said welcome.
Thanks, my bro. Appreciate it.
Always good to see you, bro.
No, always good to see you, my bro.
Yeah, no, we've been close for a long time.
Long time, bro.
Bro, when was the first time we ever met? Do you remember?
Can't even remember, bro.
I was thinking on the way in here. I was thinking, I remember you probably the first time I remember. You might be able to remember a time before, but remember the footy coaching clinic up here in Newcastle?
Yeah.
You come up with your dad, I remember. Remember we all used to wear the yellow shirts?
Yeah.
With all the kids?
Yeah.
Like Rick Griffiths, he ran it up here. And we're at the Sydney Newcastle University. We all camped there. We all got the yellow footballs.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I think I met you. I knew all Jace Munro.
Yeah.
Wes was there. Buddy Hall. And Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay.
And that was the first time I met you. I think we were about 10, something like that.
Yeah, it would have been young.
10 or 11 with the boys and that. And we used to cruise around together. And I think at that coaching clinic, we were all cruising around. And I knew you through, I knew the boys through Andrew Anderson. And then, because Andrew was always, we grew up down there amongst all the boys there. And then I just hung around all you fellas, more so than even Newcastle fellas.
True.
Yeah.
You talking about Andrew that went to Clevo?
Yeah.
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 We were good mates at school, man. Him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's my cousin, you know. And then we ended up, it was weird. I think it was age groups there. And I was mad that those coaching clinics. A lot of black fellas went on and played NRL from that.
Yeah. A lot did, bro.
I think Peach was there, Andrew Walker,
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of good players that come through that camp that didn't play, but there was a lot that it was kind of like a generation that got the opportunity and they learned all those skills coming from country towns and that.
Yeah, no, it would have been deadly. Obviously, everyone was there for a reason, an opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, who's your mob?
My mob's dad's he's up in Bunjalung, which is he's from a place called Boigo.
Yeah.
That's probably 45-50 minutes from Grafton, inland from Grafton.
Yeah.
Little Aboriginal mission there.
Yugalbar.
That's Yugalbar. That's not far from Boigo. Boigo. Yugalbar's like the what do you call it? The station of Boigo, pretty much. But yeah, dad's from Boigo, Bunjalung country, and my mum's technically she's from Wellington, New South Wales.
Yeah.
But her mother was Nanny McGuinness. She was a McGuinness from
Victoria.
I think it was McGuinness was I don't know, maybe Caraway or something.
Oh yeah.
But but you know, Nan went out. She was in the foster homes or whatnot, but she went out Cootamundra, this and that. But she landed in Wellington and Dubbo, so we claimed claimed to be Wiradjuri on mum's side, but technically she traced her history, and it turns out she was from Kempsey way.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So what's a family from up that way?
yeah, I don't know.
It's like a family links up that way too.
Yeah, I don't know if it looked. I'll have to go into a bit more with mum and that, but yeah, apparently Nan from up the way, and dad's mother.
She's part of the stolen generation, and your name.
Yeah, mum, yeah. But Dad's mother, she was a bug. She was from Nana Glen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They have those bug family. Everyone seems to be related to that bug family.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen some of those old Dick collection photos of the old blackfellas up around Port Macquarie.
Yeah, that's where. Well, that's where Nan Audrey Bug or Mundine, when she married Pop. She's from Nana Glen there, so around that region, you know, of Port Macquarie and that.
Yeah, because that Dick collection's got a photo of heaps of photos. This old guy in the early 1900s got old blackfellas from up there to like pose in traditional outfits and like with all bush tuck and everything, all different types, and it looks Jesus deadly now. Like
True.
He was an outcast because he took all those photos, that old fella, but a lot of those old fellas were bugs.
Yeah.
Related to that family.
Must be related to them, 100%.
Yeah.
For sure.
So tell me a little bit more about yourself, bro. Like,
I was, you know, obviously.
Where'd you grow up?
My mum and dad from the country. Obviously, we went back there every sort of holidays we got, and school holidays. I went back to Wellington, went back to the Boegal a lot of the time, you know, seeing family and whatnot. But I was born and bred in Sydney at Newtown Camperdown Hospital at King George.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Sydney. We were raised out Canterbury, south of Canterbury. When we first started, until I was about 13. Then we moved because Dad bought a couple of places. He had that unit there in Canterbury where we were living, but he had a place for his mother, Nan Audrey, up in Elwood, just the next suburb. And so we moved from the apartment to Elwood when Nan passed away and that.
Yeah.
And that's where I sort of grew up. But in saying that, I was always around, you know, my family and friends, which we, you know, always sort of hung out and was around Waterloo, Redfern, and Alexandria. Yeah.
Big family, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, your family's always sort of, known. Yeah. One of my aunties married your uncle. Yeah, we've got cousins and all that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you got a big mob, I got a big mob. We're bound to marry in, neighbour.
Somewhere, somehow, yeah.
Yeah. We got similar, like, cousins, yeah. Dyson, Latana, yeah. But, so, what gave you, like, your dad? Like, obviously your dad's been a massive person in not only your life, but Australian society, like, as far as his sport and all that. Like, I remember my dad and uncles talking about your dad, how great he was, and them old blackfellas back in those days, they always talk about fighting and always about...
big fighting was real big back in the
TV ringside
70s and early 80s were massive. Like, they had free-to-air TV like they have rugby league today, you know what I mean? And they had like fight night every week. Yeah. So it was massive back in the day.
Like TV ringside, I remember Dad talking about that, and a lot of deadly old blackfellas, they used to fight on that.
Yeah. And, well, blackfellas, you can't teach your talent, you know what I mean? You can't teach your talent. It's just sort of God given, God gift in all sports like rugby league, AFL, boxing, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So we're just lucky. We like a lot of the African Americans, how they're just gifted with that natural instinct, and that's the same with the blackfellas here.
Yeah, that hand-eye coordination,
and all that. Yeah.
Feet, yeah. It was pretty amazing. Some of, but even your dad. Can you tell us a little bit about your dad's achievements?
Yeah, well, he's one of the probably pound for pound best fighters ever to come out of Australia. He fought all the top middleweights in his time, and back in them days, there was only one belt holder, and that was the champion Carlos Monzon, who he fought in '74.
Yeah.
Argentina in at Buenos Aires, and he was getting death threats and everything. Monzo was big, like an icon of the country, and you know, he done Super World to get in there with him and do what he did against him. But Dad was always telling me he was struggling to make weight. He was always draining himself to make weight, and I understand that now, especially late in my career. That weight loss, it just makes you resist. You have no resistance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a shot that shouldn't hurt you, like doesn't hurt you, but a shot that shouldn't bother you can stun you, which is, you know, it ain't good. You know, so he wasn't as healthy as he should have been as far as in the fight, but he beats a lot of the top 10 fighters in the world. Benny Briscoe, not Benny Briscoe, Emil Griffith. He fought about 3 or 4 top 10ers and he beat them all. He fought a lot of time in Europe as well, in Paris. He made a big name for himself in Paris, and yeah, he's a living legend. He was the only fighter to hold the middleweight title, the light heavyweight title, and the heavyweight title.
Australia.
That's at the same time.
At the same time.
That's unheard of.
That might never happen again.
I doubt it. Doubt it.
Yeah. It must make you pretty proud, bro, to have a dad like that.
Yeah, but not just that, just the man and the respect he sort of got from the people. You know what I mean? Always people sort of shaking his hand and showing him that respect and love. Really, that's what I remember growing up. Like, I want to be like that. You know, I was thinking when I was a kid. You know,
yeah,
I want to have that impact.
Yeah. I remember your dad at the knockout.
Yeah.
And people would...
Remember that knockout they had that his face on the
t-shirt.
Yeah. That ripper in there?
Yeah, but yeah.
That's crazy. I think that was 83 or something.
Yeah. And he was always security, eh?
Yeah.
And everyone knew not to muck up, like, your dad was their security and your uncles were security.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember all them old fellas, they'd always talk about all the old Nala crew.
Yeah.
Dad and all that. They'd all say, we got Tony there.
He's right.
No one to mug up. Yeah. But, no, I remember my old man talking very highly about your dad and all them old fellas from this way too.
Yeah, no, he earned that respect. But he treated people like he wanted to be treated. You know what I mean? He always had that respect for other people until they broke it. So he's a good sort of humble, loving man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he still is too.
Yeah, still young, strong, old Tanza.
Yeah, I'd love to get him on here and tell us.
Yeah. I'll read his number and tell him to come up. He'll come up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. Your career, bro. Just want to talk a little bit about that as well. So tell me a little bit more about your career, what you actually did, because there's a lot of young fellas out there. It's a new generation now, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you were at one stage, or not one stage, for probably 10 years, you were the biggest Australian sportsman or public figure in Australian society.
Yeah.
For a long time, bro. And a lot of people don't realise, a lot of the new generation don't know who you are and how big you actually are and how big you are we're in the world scene.
Yeah.
And it's just a couple of your achievements, bro, what you actually did. Well, we could talk for hours on this and all the things you did.
It was what I've done in my career is pretty much unprecedented, unparalleled to anything that anyone has tried to do. You know what I mean? I don't think I'll get the recognition and glory for my achievements. You know, I feel if I was a white fella and I did what I done, you know, like crossover athlete. When I left the game in rugby league, I was the best player in the world, or one of the top 3 players in the world at the time. I was the highest paid player, one of the highest paid players in the game. I was getting like $750,000 in 98.
Is that what you got when you went to the Broncos?
Yeah, no, the St. George contract.
Oh, St. George contract.
Yeah, I was in like $750,000. Like, a season, and we're talking back in 98, 99, 2000 years. We're talking 98. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put that in today's terms, that's 1.5 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I know I was one of the best players, and in my juniors, I was in all the junior teams, all the junior reps. You know, state teams, national teams, Australian schoolboys, Australian junior kangaroos. I was like the young gun coming up. You know what I mean? And I just wanted my goal was I wanted to play for my Australia in the seniors. Yeah. That was my goal. Yeah. And you know, I hit the scene, and I was, you know, I started pretty much killing it straight away. I debuted at 18, and you know, along the way, I just started getting better and better. And before I knew it, in 96, I was 21, and not many people will remember this one, but we didn't have a very stacked team. You know, like, we didn't have a stacked team like Roosters. We didn't have a stacked team like the Canberra Raiders. Like, team for the internationals, we're talking. We only had like 1 or 2 international players. Mark Quinn and probably David Barnhill. And we had a team of, you know, not, you know, sort of Jimmy Nobody, sort of. Yeah. But I rose in that series, and it was like a one-man show. I pretty much carried the team. You know, obviously it's a team sport, but the way I was playing, with the confidence I was playing, I was bringing them guys with me to uplift them and, you know, get them confident. You know, and I was definitely, I feel I was the best player that year in '96. Yeah. And we made the grand, went all the way to the grand final. We lost against the Eagles, Sea Eagles, but that was a tremendous team. They had another team for the internationals, Mark Ridge. They had like Kovsev, Hapawadi, Terry Hill. They had a gun team, and you know, we were mad on a dry track. I wish it was a dry track, and unfortunately that rained that week, and it was muddy, so it sort of slowed me down. You know, I mean, a bit, you know. But in saying that, you know, I spoke to one of the Manly players years after, and the game plan was to shut Mundine, shut him down. You know, hit him after hit him after he passes it. Always block him and like surround him in certain situations. So yeah, it was crazy.
Right. Like, you grew up like looking at your dad, idolizing your dad. How important was your upbringing and the way your dad sort of molded you? Is it a major thing to towards your success?
Yeah, definitely a major thing. I think that major thing to the mindset more and more so. Especially my mum too. Mum was she's solid. She's sort of the backbone of the family. But you know, a woman can't teach sort of a man to be a man. You know what I mean? And my dad sort of guided me and led me down the right path to make the right choices. Because life's about choices, and every choice you make is the direction you want to lead yourself to.
Yeah.
Are you a thought leader living on the leading edge? Take the talking stick, email Abie at livingontheleadingedge.com. Sing along now.
Yeah. So and I know how disciplined you've been over the years and stuff, like, because you've never drunk or smoked, eh?
Never drunk, never smoked, never took drugs. Obviously, I'm a black fella. I've been around it my whole life. You know what I mean? If there was house parties or whatever when I was a kid, everyone would be charging on. You know, when I was 14, I was hanging around Waterloo Rathburn. We went to one of the brothers' house, and all the boys were sitting around in a circle, puff giving. And it come to me, I said, "Chocky, you want to go?" I said, I sort of froze for about 10 seconds, but it felt like a minute. Felt like an eternity. But I I said, nah, bro, that's not for me. I'm gonna cruise. I'll see you tomorrow. And then I went up over this hill. Went up over this hill and started breaking down hysterically crying. And it took me a minute to stop, but when I stopped, I realized that moment, if I can, say no, I feel like a sense of empowerment to myself that that I was able to say no to that peer pressure, and where so many would have folded and said yes,
Inner strength.
Yeah.
You reckon that was
that was the moment. That was the moment that I knew. Obviously, I had goals and dreams as a kid for footy, and I knew I was gonna make it.
Yeah, your dad with that, putting those that mental strength in you.
Well, what happened when I was 10, 11 maybe? My dad used to always go to down to King's Cross, Kaluzi Bar at King's Cross, sort of up sort of down here as King's Cross, but it was next to King's Cross, and obviously in the late 80s, that was a pretty mid to late 80s. That was a pretty rough place, A lot of alcoholics, a lot of prostitution, a lot of drug addicts and whatnot. So we sometimes used to go for a walk, go to the arcade, play with the games, and go for a walk amongst the neighborhood, and run into like homeless people, that have addictions, like drug addiction or alcohol addiction, and we used to talk to them and engage with them, and they used to tell us their story, how they got there, and some of them had like successful life before that, and but they always used to say to me at the end of it, life's about choices. You make sure you make the right choice. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't you do drugs. So it was really the people that a lot of society looked down upon that helped me have that built in my psychic to make that right choice. So they're the ones that I have to thank to really have that at my core.
So you've also, like I said earlier, you've been probably the biggest public figure in Australian sport for over 10 years.
Easy.
Why were you such an enemy of a lot of people?
I wasn't such an enemy. I was just I was a threat. I was a threat for exposing the truth. I was a very militant activist as far as the Aboriginal plight and people and injustice that was happening with our people, and I always stand up to racism and bullshit. And I was confident, proud, black, and a Muslim. So I had the trifecta, and that was wasn't a good trifecta to have. That's why they portrayed me the way they did. They did everything they can to sort of keep me down and try to keep me in my place. But I stayed real to myself, stayed true to myself, and let the Creator sort of guide me.
Yeah. What do you like? For what you experienced, young fellas, like I noticed, like Latrell had an awesome game last night, and he seems to be copping a lot of that sort of stuff that you cop back in the day now, and they hate him for no reason.
They hate him because he's a proud black fella that stands up against like I did against the bullshit. See, Latrell's a bit lucky in the sense that it's more fashionable these days, but a lot more people are starting to see the injustice of our people, and there's a lot more support. When I was doing it, when they were coming at me, I was one out by myself, bruh. You know what I mean? I had no support, but at least I feel the buzzers are starting to band together now. Latrell, Cody, Foxy. You know, you got some backup.
Yeah.
Where back in my days, I had no backup. They'd go if I say something that wasn't against their narrative, as far as it was wrong, as far as whether it was racist or whatever, they go to another brother and make him sort of talk against me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I'd call them out.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit, bro. Like, I just spoke the truth.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of my closest mates, like Gordy Tallis, at times he come out and said something rebutting something I said. I said, mate, he's an Uncle Tom. If he's saying that, he's an Uncle Tom. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to put him in line too, but let him know, like, bruh, this, you know, the truth is like a rock. You know what I mean? You throw it into a pack of dogs, and the one that hits will bark the loudest. That's what Malcolm X said.
Yeah.
You know, so I was just talking truth.
Yeah.
And that they scared of the truth.
Yeah, certainly is, eh? And these days it is a lot more fashionable to be Aboriginal these days.
100%, bruh. Like, if I look today and I think, I wish I was playing today. Freak me dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot more people behind the injustice. You can make a lot more change. You know what I mean?
But I feel it's easier today because of blokes like you. Your
100%.
It wouldn't be as easy if you didn't make that stance.
100%.
What
bro.
you did, like you said, with pulling.
I was taking on the system. This whole the media, the whole white sort of systematic racist system by myself.
Yeah, you was
By myself, bruh. One out.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what, you know. But they never give that. That's another thing. They never give me the.
They don't give you the
never
accolades.
give the credit. Never give me the credit or accolade for any of that shit.
No.
You know what I mean? I was calling about the anthem and the flag 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You was carrying the flag out.
100%. I was the first one. I was carrying it out. I was wearing big hats. You know, when I was coming out to fight. You know, I represented them to like DIE. You know what I mean?
100%, bro. He did, and it was all the real black fellas are there.
Yeah,
back too with you rolling.
People, the brothers know, mate. The brothers know.
The real mob know, eh, bro?
The real recognised real bro. The brothers know who's who in the zoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, bro. And yeah, I noticed the same people who are calling you out for stuff are the same people that are calling the young fellas out now for the same stuff.
Yeah, badly.
Yeah, and they're shameless. And they need a focus put on them too, bro, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. But you understand, bro. It's in, you know, Australian psychic, and this come from the white fella. It's embedded into their psychic. You know, you're not born racist. You know what I mean? You're not born. There's no racism when you're born, but as soon as you start, you're taught, and your father teacher or your grandfather teacher. It's systemic racism that's going back to the colonial days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does, eh, bro? That institutionalized racism.
Yeah.
And yeah, do you think it's getting better these days?
I mean, it's getting more. I wouldn't say better at what they're doing for the people. Wouldn't say better. They're still keeping the people oppressed, but it's getting a lot more awareness to the masses, and a lot more support in that sense. But as far as the system and what they're doing for our mob, nothing's changed, man.
What do you think about the flag being flown on the Sydney Harbour Bridge?
Well, it had to, man. It had to. Like, it's just a matter of time, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like when they do certain things that are tokenistic. You know, like when they said, you know, Kevin Rudd said sorry, apologised to all the the First Nations people. But so one thing saying one, it's all right saying one thing, but actually actions. Where's the action? You know, where's the action? Where's the action plan? What are you going to do to change? To change all statistics as far as mortality rate, imprisonment rate, etc., etc. You know what I mean? Like our case is no better or no worse. So, you know, kids are still getting taken away. You know, still systemic racism and stereotype thinkers where, you know, it's not easy just for a black fella to get up and try and go for a job. You know what I mean? You got to be 2-3 times as good as anybody else just to get a look in. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be we're gonna have to fight until we long gone. You know what I mean? And just leave that fight and that spirit with the next generations to come.
Next generation. They reckon that if you can make 2050, you can live forever.
Whatever.
If you can make 2050,
Yeah.
you're gonna live forever.
What do you mean?
Forever. You're gonna live forever. This is what they're saying, bro.
He's saying
At the
that.
moment.
He's saying that.
Oh, David Sinclair. He's a Harvard professor.
Nah.
So yeah,
Bro,
they're into reversing the aging and all that sort of stuff.
Doesn't matter, bro. There's two things for sure in life: death and tax. You know what I mean?
That's what all I said there, wasn't
And
it?
even that, you know, black folks, this is our land. They're making billions and billions and billions of dollars off our natural resources on our land, and we're still paying taxes and tolls. It's all bullshit, bro.
Yeah,
Like, that's got to change.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I might even start to put my hand up and go in the parliament and start to make some changes for this, for the better.
Why not?
100.
Yeah. Maybe this is the next part of your life.
Maybe later on, yeah, when I get a bit of time.
So what are you doing at the moment, bro?
I'm doing Mundine Mindset, which is, you go to mundinemindset.com, you get all the information there. It's basically motivational, inspirational, sad, happy sort of story of my life and how I overcome adversities of what we're talking about, and barriers what we're talking about, and reach the successes what nobody else has reached in the history of sport, not in this country, not in that country, but in any country. It's like like a crossover athlete that was the best at one sport and then went to another, in one of the hardest gladiatorial sports of all, boxing. It's been, you know, like I said, it's not a game. It's one of the hardest sports, and to win 3 world championships, it's unheard of. It's like taking a lot and putting this perspective. It's like taking LeBron James or Steph Curry out of the NBA, saying, I'm quitting the NBA in his prime, and then going to boxing and winning 3 world titles. Like, come on, bro. Like, you dream of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Bro, who was the hardest fight you ever fought?
I think the hardest probably think wouldn't be the best fighter. Probably the hardest was Mikkel Kessler.
Yeah, the big time fighter.
Undefeated Danish, you know, warrior, man. He's a beast. But you know, remember when I started fighting, I had to learn on the job. Like, I didn't have this pedigree, this amateur pedigree like they all did. When I fought Sven Otke, he had 300 amateur fights. 300 amateur fights, two Olympics. You know what I mean? When I fought him, he had 22 fights. In them 22 fights, he had 12 fights that were title defenses. So he won the title early, and then he had 12 title defenses. I only had 10 fights. Then we fight. He knocked me out in the 10th. Right. I'm fresh off 10 fights. Then recently in a Ring magazine interview, if you look it up, Ring magazine interview with Sven Otke, and then he says who's the hardest fighter he's fought. He's got 10 categories: fastest feet, best jab, best defense. Blah. I was in seven of them.
Yeah.
7. And then he said, "Who's the hardest fighter you ever fought?" Mundine. That boy in Mundine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you get that that clarification from your peers, can't no one beat that, man.
Yeah.
And then you had dudes back here jumping on tables because I lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's the hatred and the racism is depth is deep down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is the deep south, eh?
It's like the deep south, bro.
It is worse than the deep south.
Australia's like the deep south, man. Probably it's worse because we're the traditional owners. We own this land. It's our country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So them brothers over there, they don't own that land. That's from the native Indians.
Yeah. It's like walking in someone's house and standing over them. And
That's what I'm saying, bro.
You're cheeky, eh?
I mean, cheeky.
Got the cheek.
Got the cheek to do it, man.
Yeah, and stand
Like,
on people's tables when you walk in their house.
100%, bro. Like,
Boss them around and
yeah.
say you're sitting in that corner over there. You're not eating until I let you eat in your own house.
Exactly, bro. Like, you know, that's where all my frustration. That's where all my motivation. That's all my fueling that fire that ignited inside of me to push even further and go even further. That's where it all comes from. You know what I mean? That's why I spoke out when I played rugby league. Because I'd seen them. They're not giving me the accolades that I deserve when I was young, when I was coming through and I started ripping up. And so I said, Daly, he was only 26, poor fella. I said, he's running on old legs, and I was only 20. I was a new kid on the block, you know. Like, come on, I was ready. I had that fight mentality. Brad Fittler, why pick him? I'll whip him. Let's go. You know what I mean? You know, I was a crazy cat. That's like Latrell saying today, who's a Tom Dravojevic. Yeah, I'm better than him. He's nothing. I'm the best.
Yeah.
That's how I brought entertainment. I brought everything to that game. You know what I mean? And you need characters. You need guys that have charisma.
Yeah.
But not only that, my style of play. Oh my God, I was a beast. I know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I was a fan of me. That's how good I was.
Fucking you had so many fans, but
Yeah.
and people were just like, I remember my dad and mum having a conversation one night and just saying it's a pleasure to be watching your career and being on the journey with you.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I didn't understand.
But that's what I'm saying, because the brothers and sisters can relate to me.
Yeah.
Relate to my journey and what I was going through.
Yeah.
You know, how they seen the media portray me and vilify me and me overcome all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't understand.
Even guys that have mental health problems, they drew strength just from watching me do what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. People come up to me and say, "Mate, you saved my life.
Yeah.
You saved my life." I said, "What do you mean you saved your life?" He said, "Bruh, just your resilience, your passion, your love, your energy, your want, your success. You know, it's like it's very empowering, man. Very humbling as well at the same time.
Because you was smashed by the media.
Oh,
as soon
yeah.
as you said something, and Australia's main media outlets, as soon as you said something, you can go back in all of the newspapers and that, and they just jumped on you.
Oh, yeah.
And they just turned you into whatever they wanted to do.
Exactly.
They manipulated what you said. Exactly. And it was
that's like before I went to Germany. That's why it was so. People were jumping on the table in that, because it was a 9/11 thing. Remember?
Yeah.
The 9/11 just happened.
Yeah.
And like I'm a real fella. I'm a real brother. I'm tell the truth. I'm not gonna speak lies. So Richard Wilkins will interview me on Today's Show.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, what are your thoughts about the 9/11 incident. I said, mate, look, it's unfortunate. Obviously, no one should be dying, but America had it coming to them. Basically, that's what I said. That they had it coming to them in the sense that they go in other countries and kill and bomb and pillage, their people just for their natural resources and the power, get the power grab, and then take over their lands. What they found, you think it's going to come back to bite them? You know what I mean? That's what I was basically saying. But they turned it around to where I was for the killings. I'm like, bruh, I'm not, mate. Who do you think I am? Like, you think I'm a freaking, psychopath or something? You know what I mean? I said, mate, they turned that side, took off to Germany early, 3 weeks early, and my dad told me, you gotta run, and you gotta spar. I didn't spar over there for 3 weeks, and I didn't run. I'd done all this new innovative rower, treadie, and all that, and weights, and I kick myself to this day, not listening to Dad, but you live and you learn, eh?
Yeah, the old fella, eh? They've got that knowledge and they know what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember your first fight on the Central Coast, and all us Newcastle mob, getting shirts made up, and we all come down there and watched you.
Oh, for that Australian title, yeah.
Yeah, was it Bargero? Was your
Bajero, yeah.
Your first ever fight, and we all went down.
First ever Australian title. That was my 5th fight.
Was it?
5th fight. I had the big Aboriginal hat, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we all went down and watched a big mob of us. There was bus loads of us.
That was mad, bro.
Yeah.
That was crazy night.
But all your after parties were mad.
Where's your P? Where's your P? In the centre.
Where's your P running all after parties, eh?
He loved it.
Hey,
he loved it.
Hey.
God bless him.
Yeah, let's
Shooting for the stars, living in the sky well. Leave a 5-star review for living on the leading edge. Living on the leading edge, wherever you listen. Living on the leading edge, living on the leading edge,